Hey there, Stampers. Happy catalog launch day. I'm excited today to share with you some brand new products. Okay, I'm just updating my iPad here. Okay, we are in a new spot tonight. We are in our bedroom and I've got my camera set up a little bit differently. So we're going to give it a shot. I apologize, the lighting is not going to be the best, but we are going to make do with what I have here. All right, let's see here. I don't know about you, but I was super excited and I couldn't wait to place my first order from the annual catalog this morning. I stayed up past midnight so that I could get my order in, just in case some things sold out. So I was happy that I believe almost everything was in stock that I wanted. So that's good. And I know that that will be the first of many more orders to come. All right, so today is the first day of this exciting new catalog. I always find, even after almost 17 years as a demonstrator, a new catalog is always one of the best days of the year. I just get so excited. So I'm not going to do a flip through of the catalog. Most of you will have had time to study it. If there's anybody who's watching who's in Canada who does not have a physical copy and does not already have a demonstrator, if you are interested in receiving a physical copy, just send me a PM and I'm happy to pop one in the mail for you. All right. Oh, Denise, you weren't able to get the Pansy suite. You know what? It's probably just because the bee trinkets are on they're on back order or not orderable. So the bee trinkets sold out really, really quickly. So you can't order the suite number, but you'll be able to order the individual components, okay? So you won't be able to order it under this number here on page 28 if the bee trinkets are unavailable. So whenever a suite number whenever it doesn't go through or it says there's some sort of issue with it, it's usually because one of the items in the collection is either on back order or it's temporarily unavailable. So then what you need to do is you just need to go ahead and order the bundle and then the DSP and whatever else is included in there that is still available, and just hold off on, like in this case it would be the bee trinkets, which are so cute, so cute. So give that a try again the next time you place an order. If you haven't already placed your order, give it a try, and my guess is that that's what the issue was. All right, so this is the beautiful suite that we're going to play with today. I'm going to create one card but share a couple different versions of that same kind of design with you tonight. Now, I wanted to share the pieces that are part of this suite because it is so, so pretty. To be honest, I wasn't sure I would love it because you know me and flowers. I you know what? I like flowers, but this is really florally for me. But it turns out I absolutely love it, and it's the suite that I've played with the most. So here's the DSP. So let me do a little quick flip through here. So here we've got leaves in 3 different colors, and there are dies that will cut those out. So these 2 dies will cut out these leaves. And then we've got this pattern, which I think is so pretty. There isn't a dies to cut out this, but you can fussy cut that and create some really beautiful cards with it. And then there's this one, and there are 2 dies that will cut out these pansies. So this larger one and this smaller one will cut out both sizes. And then there's that, which is so pretty. I love these 3 colors together. And this one, and this one, that actually goes this way. And then the back side, love this one. So Bumblebee, that's a great pattern. We've got some stripes in 2 of our new in colors. So that is Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. And then we've got some gingham. So that's another one of our new in colors, the Fresh Freesia. This is testing my memory here. And then we've got some Calypso Coral with a little bit of Pale Papaya in there. And then we've got a Pale Papaya gingham. And we've got a Soft Succulent gingham. So I find it's a really nice mix of patterns, and you can mix and match like these 2 together. They're fabulous. These two together, great. Let's see here. These two work really well together. Like they just all work so well together. So it really is such a beautiful paper pack. And then I forgot to bring the bee trinkets. Oh, they're on my desk, which is in the other room. And then there is the Pansy Patch bundle, which includes a stamp set and some dies. Now, you'll notice when you order photopolymer stamp sets from this new catalog that they are going to come with, I should have brought an older one so I could show you. You know how there's two pieces of plastic. One is kind of a flimsy plastic on top, and then a more solid structured plastic on the bottom. And usually on that bottom piece, the images are printed on there. Now the images are actually printed on the stamp case. So what I've done is so I still have the flimsy plastic on the top. So what I've done is I've taken some tear and tape. I put a couple strips of tear and tape down and stuck my clear plastic to my stamp case so that I can easily look and see if I'm missing any of my stamps. So this one I'm missing, but I'm going to use that tonight, so I know that it's on the block there. So can you see how it's actually not printed on that back piece of plastic, but it's printed on the actual stamp case. So I found that when I first started using this, I didn't have it attached, and I was feeling a little lost. I felt like I couldn't fit all the stamps back I didn't know where they belonged. I didn't know if I was missing something. So that's a little tip there for you. Just use a little bit of tear and tape and stick those plastic pieces on there, and you'll be good to go. I did try using 4 mini glue dots, but I found that the mini glue dots weren't holding up well enough. When I went to peel off the stamps, the plastic sheet in the back was coming off as well. So I found that a strip or two of tear and tape works really well. Okay, so there's a little trick for you that I've discovered with these new photopolymer stamps. All right, and this is a nice collection of dies that coordinate with the stamp set. So we've got the outline images that will die cut the outline stamps, but that also kind of complement it as well. And you can create some gorgeous pansies with this bundle here. So we're going to use some of that today, but before we get into it, I want to share a couple things. I have right now, the Class to Go is featuring this pansy set. So I've got 5 of the 6 cards to share with you. I'm going to share a quick peek of the cards. The 6th one is a fancy fold, and I just have not had a chance to make it. I do this class with a US demonstrator, Laura Milligan. She designs 3 cards and I design 3 cards, and we usually make each other's cards so that we can show all 6 cards, and I just have not had a chance to make that second fancy fold because there's 2 fancy folds in this class. So, and we did make a point of using a mix of the stamps and the dies. So here's the first one, and there's those sweet little bee trinkets. We've got a fun fold. Here's another one, and another one. And that's the last one that I have to show you, but remember that there is another one featuring a fun fold that Laura created that is absolutely stunning and really highlights the dies. Now, I know some of you may not be, pansies may not be your thing, or some of you may not be interested in, you know, bundles like this where there's lots of little pieces and lots of stamping and things like this. Well, just know that you can actually create these cards or these projects by just having the DSP, because there's so many images that you can cut out from the DSP. So if you don't want to own the stamp set and the dies, you could either just purchase the dies, or you could just purchase the DSP and fussy cut images from the DSP. So any of the stamped images you could replace with fussy cut flowers from the DSP. Okay, so that's just a little hint at how you could use this tutorial and still create some beautiful cards and not necessarily feel like you have to purchase this bundle if it's not a bundle that you love. I'm pretty sure that you will end up loving this, but if it's not for you, that's completely fine. You can still take part in this class. So I will link to the information on where you can find all the details, because there is a $45 option, which includes half a package of the DSP, the bee trinkets, which I'm not sure what we're going to do now if they're not orderable. So we might have to figure that out, and a spool of the fresh freesia ribbon, and then all the pre-cut pieces to create all 6 cards. Okay, and then the PDF as well. Or you could choose the I Want It All option and purchase the entire suite for $96. Again, that entire suite is not available to order right now, unfortunately, because of those little bee trinkets, but you could spend that $96 on something else if that bundle is not for you. Or you can purchase the bundle and what you can get, and just make sure that your order hits that $96 and you will get the class absolutely free. Okay, now there's still more to talk about because we've got so much happening, but I will kind of talk as I create so that you guys don't have to look at an empty table here. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a little background on this piece. So I've gone ahead and I've taken a piece of white cardstock and I've die cut it using the largest scallop rectangle from the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and this is just regular cardstock. For this you could also use thick basic white cardstock if you wanted, and I'm going to do the packaging technique on the bottom on the background of this little piece. So I've got a piece of packaging here. You can use any kind of packaging that you've got laying around. It needs to be a little bit more structured than like a piece of saran wrap, but these 6x8 cello bags or our transparent card envelopes work really well. So you just need something that allows you to kind of manipulate a little bit. Okay. And I know many of you have seen me do this technique many times because it's one of my favorite techniques. I am taking the Soft Succulent ink pad, which is one of our new in colors, and I'm just going to smush a couple little lines there. Because I'm doing it on such a small surface, I don't need a ton of ink. And then I've got a Stampin' Spritzer just with some regular water, and I'm going to mist it. And you want to mist it enough so it starts to pool like this. Okay, so you want some movement in there. All right, and then I'm going to flip it around. Hello, hello, hello. Oh boy, lots of you are here. Hi Kim, hi Sue, Denise and Elaine and Lorraine and Anne and Dixie and Shauna. Happy catalog launch day. Welcome, thanks for joining me. Okay, so now I'm gonna quickly flip this over, and it's a little bit more finicky when you do it on a smaller piece. I'm going to flip it over. It's okay, it's going to drip, and I'm just going to move it up. Now normally I would have multiples of these so that I could do several of them, but I don't need any more than this. So I'm just going to take a piece of tissue or paper towel and dab it off there. I cleaned up my table really quickly so it didn't stain because this is not our table. And I'm going to set that aside to dry. Okay. All right. So we can put these pieces aside, and the rest that we're going to do, we are going to do some die cutting. So I've got several strips of cardstock here. I've got fresh freesia, I've got soft succulent, I've got evening evergreen, and I've got a piece of white. So what is everybody's favorite new in color? I love the soft succulent. However, I've used fresh freesia more than any of the other in colors so far. So Carol, give me the rundown. What are the new restrictions? I didn't get a chance to watch. What are we looking at now? Because I know they were supposed to announce them at 6, right? All right, welcome everyone. Okay, so I've got my greeting here. It says a little hello from me to you, which is right from that Pansy Patch stamp set. There are some great fonts in here, or great greetings in here, and I love it when Stampin' Up! combines fonts. So you've got a little bit of a scripty font and a little bit of a block font. Those are my favorite. Love them. So I'm going to stamp that with some Evening Evergreen ink onto a piece of soft succulent cardstock. Sharon loves the soft succulent. Soft succulent, soft succulent. Soft succulent and evergreen. Oh, there's lots of soft succulents. K-6 online learning for 3 weeks. Outdoor dining closed. Okay. All right. Are the stores still open? I was wondering if they were going to restrict that. Okay. So I'm going to trim this a little bit shorter. This is probably about a 1/2 inch strip. I just needed it wide enough so that it would accommodate my greeting. Outdoor groups of only 5 people. Interesting. Okay, and then I'm going to flag both ends. And sorry, I'm watching the comments as well. All right, so we're going to do this, and then we are going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and we're going to do some die cutting. So I'm going to set this aside, and these pieces we are going to die cut. This image right here, and that's going to be cut from Evening Evergreen. And I got to remember which pieces I need here. This piece is going to get cut from white, and this piece is going to get cut from Fresh Freesia. So those are the 3 pieces that we're going to die cut. So I'll slide these out of the way and bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And let's see, I apologize, the table's going to be very wobbly. I'll see where you guys position it so that you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, so we're going to cut this. I thought I would use this particular image because we've seen a ton. If you're on Pinterest or if you're online at all, you've seen a ton of samples using the pansies, the full-size pansies. So both the die cuts and the DSP, and this, there's not a ton actually of the stamped images. There is a lot of the die cut images from the DSP and a lot of just the dies. So I wanted to show you what you could do with this particular set of 3 dies. It's a simple card, but I think it's absolutely stunning. And like I said, I'm going to share 3 variations of how I used this idea. Okay, so take these guys off. If you ever have any dies that are closed like this, well, this one actually happens to have the little holes, so you can use your paper piercing tool. But there are some that are closed like this that don't have the little holes. And if you have problems getting them out, I just usually just drop the die like this, and usually the cardstock will pop right out. Okay. So this guy has little holes. So we'll use the paper piercing tool. So for those of you who are not familiar with this handy dandy tool, this is our Take Your Pick tool. And it's called the Take Your Pick tool because it is a tool that has lots of uses. So on this end, you pull off the cap, and there is this putty at the end, which is great for positioning pieces like this. So you can put adhesive on the back and then pick it up. Sequence, you know, little embellishments that you need to kind of pick up that are really hard to hold with your fingers. This is a great tool for that. And this, it just unscrews when you use up your putty, and you can just get replacements for it. Okay, so that's that end. And then on this end, this is a paper piercing tool. So you've seen me use it you'll actually see me use it when I pick up like rhinestones, pearls, you know, anything like that. Or if I need to poke holes, or if I need to get into the dies, I'll use it to poke in here. and then you rotate it, pull it out, and then there's, I call this a spatula. So you just rotate it. There's little notches there. So you rotate it. There's notches on the side that you just line those up, and then you twist it and it locks it into place. And this is a little spatula. So if you need to peel off any layers, so if you've got let's say that these two pieces were stuck together and you needed to lift them up for some reason, you can slide this underneath and it will help separate those two pieces. You can also use it, some people use it to pick off their rhinestones and then position them. I find it easier to use the take your pick tool, but that's a way that you can use that. And then there is another tool as well that you can add to this, and that is the brush. So in your more finicky dies, sometimes it's helpful to use the brush and then a foam mat and brush them along, and it will pop those pieces out. So that attachment is available to add to the end as well. All right. Okay. All right. So I think I have all my pieces. So I'm going to bring in my white card base. I'm going to fold it in half. So this is a piece of thick white card stock. And whenever I do a white card base, I always use thick white cardstock because it's just a little heavier than our regular white, and I find the regular white cardstock that we have is not, it's a little bit too flimsy to hold up to the weight of a card. Okay, let's see. I know, I love this one too. This was actually the first card that I created with this bundle. And I absolutely adore this little bud. I love it. Okay, so we've got our white card base. We're going to assemble our flower. So what I'm going to do first, I should have brought my multi-purpose glue. Okay, we're going to have to use this. I find this a little bit easier to do with multi-purpose glue because these pieces are quite small. All right, so I've got my white, and then I'm going to position this over top so that the white is peeking out. So it looks just like that. And when you die cut it, it gives you this debossed imprint on there as well. It just really brings it to life. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive here and then position that on there, and look how beautiful this flower is. Just like that. It was that easy to make. So easy. Okay, so we're going to bring in this piece here so you can see how wilted, how curled up that is. So we are going to use lots of dimensionals when we stick this on. But first I'm going to adhere this to here. So I'm going to use a dimensional right on here. And then what I would normally do if I had my multi-purpose glue here, I would put a tiny little bit of glue on the stem just to hold the stem down. But because I don't have that here, I'm just going to position this on here. That's okay, that will get held down by something else that I'm going to use. I've got my greeting. I'm going to add a couple dimensionals in behind. And then I'm going to position this over top like this, trying to make sure it is straight. And then we're going to add some elegant faceted gems. I know, Dixie, this background technique, I absolutely love it. I'm hooked on it. I seem to want to use it on everything. I use it on my scrapbook layouts. I use it on cards now. Initially it was just on scrapbook layouts, but now I've discovered that you don't have to limit yourself to a big canvas. You can do something smaller. All right, and I'm going to use these clear. So see how I've got my take your pick tool? I'm going to get right underneath there. So I'm getting the adhesive. I'm picking the adhesive off. And we're going to use 3 of them. I'm going to use 1 big one and 2 small ones. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this over. Okay, and I'm going to be very generous with my dimensionals because this is a little bit warped. So I'm actually probably going to put strips all the way around. So let's see, that should fit on here. So I'm going to use the outside edges. I'll do this guy. I'll put a couple in the middle as well. And then we'll take off this. If you've got our adhesive sheets, you could also put, or what are they called? Foam adhesive sheets. If you've got those handy, you could use a couple strips of those here as well. I didn't bring those with me, so. All right, so I'll just finish. So this seems quite generous, but you know what? It really helps hold it into place and keep that structure because we added all that moisture. So another way that you can prevent so much warpage is if you use our thick cardstock when you do this. Okay, so here is one card idea. So I'm not going to stick that down because I'm going to add something else that I think just really finishes off the card. So this could be your card right here. And isn't that beautiful? It's just so pretty. It's simple and elegant. I just love it. But we are going to bring it up a notch. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut a piece of vellum. Now this piece of vellum measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I've embossed it with the painted texture. I think sometimes we forget that you can actually emboss vellum, and it absolutely looks stunning. Like this, I don't know if you guys can see that texture, but it gives it almost like a, where it's really raised, it gives it, it makes it look a little bit more white. I don't know how to describe it. Oh yeah, you guys can kind of see it on the camera there. Okay, and then for adhesive, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put adhesive in the center where I know that this is going to cover over. So I'm going to add that layer of vellum. So I've got a nice even border. And then I'm going to pick off all my backing. And okay, so I was going to tell you guys about the other promotions that are going on right now. So we have a fabulous promotion right now if you are looking to be a host. And by host, that means if you want to host an online virtual workshop, we can definitely do that. Or if you'd like to collect orders from friends and family, you can do that. Or if you just have a really big wish list and you want to spend over $300, you qualify for an additional $30 in free Stampin' Rewards. That's in addition to the Stampin' Rewards that you would already receive. And that promotion goes from today until I believe it's the middle of June. So that is a promotion that we have available. And then we also have a join promotion. So it's called Join Plus. And if you have a really long wish list, this is actually your best opportunity. You can purchase the starter kit, which is $135, and you get to choose $206 of whatever you want from the brand new catalog and put it into a starter kit, make a customizable kit. You only pay $135. You don't pay shipping and you don't pay tax. You don't pay GST. All right, so that is a fabulous deal. I've already had 2 people take advantage of it, and I know that there's going to be lots more. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. But it is a great, great opportunity. All right, so there we go. Our card is done. Now let me bring back, remember I showed it to you without the vellum. Now this one has a different greeting. This one I used from I used the Inspired Thoughts stamp set on this one, which fit perfectly in there. The only difference, apart from the greeting on these 2 cards, is this one has the embossed vellum and this one does not. They are both stunning, but I think the embossed vellum just steps up the game a little bit more. Okay, and then I said that I was going to share a third idea. So if you participated in my cactus, all about the succulents class recently, and you chose the third option, which was to participate in all of the classes that I was offering that day. You had 3 little treats in your package, and one of those treats was these little notebooks, and I had decorated them with a cactus theme. So I had a few of these notebooks left. So I took this idea and I basically just put it on the front of the notebook. And I didn't want to put a greeting like this because I felt like those greetings were a little bit more for cards. So I used an alphabet set and just put make note, just to stamp that out. And these are just cute little notebooks. You could use them as a junk journal. You could use them as, throw them in your purse and use it as a notebook. But it's super cute, isn't it? So I had a few left. So I made those up when I was playing around to give away as little gifts. All right, so there are 3 ideas for you. Basically the same idea, just 3 variations of it. Sometimes it's fun to just come up with an idea and just run with it and see where you can go. I also thought that you could change out this vellum if you wanted to and put a piece of patterned paper, like maybe the soft succulent gingham patterned paper in behind, and that would give it a completely different look. I think it would give it a more casual feel, whereas these 2 kind of have a more elegant kind of feel to it. But there's so many options, and with a catalog full of new product, I'm sure that there's other things that you can do. Something just crossed my mind right now. If we pull back that DSP, you could replace this with one of these images kind of going up like that, and any one of these would be stunning, just cut out and put right there if you didn't have the dies. All right, I love it when Stampin' Up! Comes out with patterned paper where you can either die cut or fussy cut. I think it just stretches the possibilities. All right, so that's it for today. I have to run because I've got somewhere else to be at 7. I will be back on Friday with another Pansy project that I will share with you. And again, there's going to be 2 alternates. I will be a little bit early on Friday because my son and I are going grad suit shopping. So he has the day off. So I was just hoping that the stores didn't close down before we had a chance to go in and find something. So I will be a little bit early. I will be on at 10 a.m. on Friday morning. And again, sharing more projects with this beautiful suite. And remember that afterwards, I will post a link in the description to the details for the Pansy Patch class to go. I really think that you guys would love the class, whether you want to purchase the Pansy Patch bundle or if you just want to recreate the cards with the DSP. I think you're going to love it. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous evening. I will see you guys on Friday. Take care.